Now, what do you see as the future being of the physical therapy profession? What challenges, like the major challenges you see for the PT profession in the future, and what role diagnostics can play to mitigate or provide solutions for those challenges?
That's a great question. And I think just going to PPS this last week, there's a lot of conversation on this, right? We want to be the doctor of physical therapy. We want to be the musculoskeletal diagnostician and specialist. We want to be a little closer to that military model for providing care. Why do we want to be that? Well, we have the expertise in that area. But the other reason is that is the most economical model, in my opinion, for the United States healthcare conundrum that we find ourselves in right now. It's out of control. Our spending is out of control. And when you start listening to our orthopedic surgeons in our area and asking them, what are some of your hardest problems? Of course, they'll complain about reimbursements too. But one of the other things that they bring up is that they are being beat up by Blue Cross because they're being told, hey, look, you guys are ordering too many MRIs. You're too much diagnostics from the standpoint of the cost of an MRI, $2,000 or $3,000 a whack. And every patient that comes into your office that has some kind of a shoulder problem, a knee problem, an ankle problem, whatever, we're just imaging at such a high rate. And so it's been really interesting to listen to those orthopedic surgeons and some of those other sports med doctors push us as a PT practice to say, get into this because it's cost effective. Now, how do we marry those two things in kind of where does the future of PT lie? It really does align. We arrive when we essentially align our goals with recognizing who we really are with diagnostics in a cost-effective way. And that's what ultrasound and EMG provides for us that we can't get any other way. We just don't have, we've said it before, sensitivity, specificity by hands-on alone. We marry our orthopedic exam with diagnostics. And when I say that, it's not at an MRI rate. So it's saving the taxpayers, if we're talking about government payers, we're saving families, we're saving really all of our friends and neighbors thousands of dollars within our community. And the broken system, we now can be part of fixing that broken system.
Awesome.
So this really is the only way. I really feel like you're going to have two groups of PTs over the next 5 years. You're going to have the one group that has lower and lower reimbursements and becomes less and less of a credible contributor to the medical model. And then you're going to have diagnostics for PTs married in those practices that are saving medical dollars. In fact, if I can just have a little tangent, at a gal that came in a few weeks ago, I'm presenting on this at tonight's webinar. She came in with anterior hip pain. And I did my orthopedic exam. I had a little bit of range of motion deficits at the hip. We had weakness that was about 3+ and painful at most of those motions, including really the hip flexors. Abductors were in that same group, extensors. I mean, it's kind of global. I do a scour test, and I get kind of a plus minus on that. It's kind of painful. Do some impingement tests. That's kind of plus minus on that too. Ended up just going right to the ultrasound. She's got OA galore. Big, huge bone spur in that anterior capsule. Just really, I mean, no wonder it hurt. The patient took one look and said, "Oh my goodness, PT isn't going to help me," right? And we did do a little PT as we then referred her on to the orthopedic surgeon, became really a viable part of the team as a physical therapist with an image that was super cheap compared to everything else, showed that bone spur, went back to the GP. Then I held the hand with the patient to go up there to the orthopedic surgeon, and I referred to the patient for surgery.
And your credibility level goes up there.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So just as an aside, there's, from a marketability standpoint, I have to tell you, Dimi, there are statements made by GPs, especially PAs and NPs, which I know there's a lot of PTs that get a lot of referrals from these guys. And as of the last 6 months, there's been 2 or 3 different groups that say we only send shoulders to Superior Physical Therapy. Why? Because we get results and we get a diagnostic-driven plan of care so that we know we're not wasting money on PT. Awesome. We're only going to use PT when it's going to work. Awesome. So I think that really is the future of PT. And hopefully that wasn't too long, but I could probably keep going.
Look, here's the thing. Actually, I asked you the basic questions or whatever I could think of that could be useful to the people who are watching this. But, you know, if anybody wants to talk to you directly, how can they reach you? How can they contact you?
You know, you can always shoot me an email. I'll just tell you, my email address is Bart M, as in McDonald, but bartmpt@gmail.com.
Okay.
And usually I try to reserve in my schedule half hour, an hour each week just to be able to answer questions on this. Mostly because I don't know if you guys ever feel this. I've got a mother-in-law, and this is kind of funny, but she finds a product at Costco. This is funny, and she will sell it to 100% of all of her friends and neighbors, right? Does Costco give her a kickback? No. Is she making any money on that at all? Absolutely not. Now, as I'm laughing at her the other day on this, she made fun of me in the same way. She's like, well, that's that diagnostic stuff that you do for PTs the same way. Didn't you just go down to the Utah section for the Physical Therapy Association of Utah and set up a vendor booth and go and talk to people, as many people as you could about this? I'm like, yeah. Why'd you do it? Well, because I know it's the right way for the profession. This is it. And so if you're like me as another PT out there, sometimes you just get to things that you know are benefit for the patient, benefit for the practice, benefit for the medical community at large, that enable you to become who you want to be, and then you can't quit talking about it. And so that's why Dimi hasn't got an edge. A word in edgewise is because I can't stop talking. So.
Thank you, Bart. And the truth of the matter is, and I say that to people when I talk to them on the phone, that aside from the money, the reimbursement and all that stuff, we have created here with all the HUDS members around the country, we have created a movement where we are changing really the future of the physical therapy profession. And Bart is a leader in that change, in that process. So thank you so much for doing this today. And those of you who want more information, you can go to diagnostics4pt.com or ptmadeeasy.com to get more information about HUDS and its products.